There's things that you're putting off. It's something you know that you need to do, Taurus, and you got 50 million 11 signs to deal with it, but you keep putting it off because it's either fear or, whatever. And then for others of you, it's being in relationships that you're very clear are one-sided, that you're putting a great deal into this more than the person is, and you're not happy and you're not fulfilled in it. Hello, Taurus. Welcome to your December soul session. I am Marlo if you're new. And if you're family, welcome back, my friend. If you're not familiar with what my soul sessions are, they are your spirituality as well as, personal development readings in which we look at the energies that you guys may encounter for a given month for the sole purpose of giving you clarity, insight, and guidance and all that good stuff and whatnot, or whatever. You know what I'm saying? So anywho, we're going to go ahead and jump into you guys' cards. The first card that you have out is my autofocus working? And it's not. It's the Six of Pentacles in the reverse. There's a lack of reciprocity going on here. Then we have the Five of Swords, and that's just causing conflict. So here's the dealio. First thing that comes to me, Taurus, coming out of November and into December, what a lot of you guys could be potentially feeling. Well, let me go ahead and give this as a forewarning. There is the potential, first and foremost, at the latter part of November going into December, that you guys could be spending a lot more money than you should be. Of course, this could be, entertaining family members, entertaining friends. It could be preparing for Christmas. But I feel with this, in accordance with this Five of Swords, that it's kind of like a self-sabotage, self-defeatist kind of thing, where it's you guys being more or less in a stable place and potentially kind of letting money slip through your fingers. And I feel it's like frivolous spending. So it's not necessarily stuff that you necessarily need. I said necessarily 2 times, don't judge me, but it's not necessarily things that you need. But I mean, it could be, Black Friday sales or what have you, but it's kind of not keeping an eye on your finances. And I feel coming into December, I don't know if it's more or less something that could happen, something that's unexpected, an unexpected expense or something along those lines. There's a need to kind of watch how it is that you guys are spending. On the other side of that, speaking more interpersonally, right? It's feeling as if you guys are either giving tangible money to a lot of people or bailing a lot of people out, or literally gift giving and not getting reciprocated for that, throwing a party at your house, type of thing. Or it's just energetically where you guys are investing more into people than they are investing into you. And I feel there's more or less a mindset with this where it's a thought of, and it kind of goes into what we talked about last month, where if I, it's giving to receive, but it's not giving to receive in the sense of trying to control people. It's more or less this thought of, if I'm open-hearted and available and, I'm a listening ear for other people and I show up for them, it's kind of an expectation that people will reciprocate that to you. But I feel in the beginning part of December, it's more or less you guys finding yourself in a place where you need someone, and all of those people that you either, entertained, gave gifts to, loan money to, supported, what have you, them not being there. And it's kind of feeling alone, and that could spark, some disappointment, some heartbreak. It can spark, resentment and things of the sort. So it's more or less kind of like a nod to what it is that we talked about. I can't even say just last month. A lot of the themes we've talked about for the last 2 months, there's a need coming into December to find a balance of what it is that you're giving out and needing to get clear on why it is you're overcompensating, And like I said, what I'm picking up from this is that you guys are giving and the expectation is for someone to reciprocate that to you, but it's more or less something happening where you're seeing that that expectation isn't met, if that's making sense. The next card, wow, that we have is the Three of Swords. Then we have the Eight of Cups in the reverse. So here's the thing, my wonderful Taurus. That's exactly the vibe I was feeling with this. It's still that kind of duality here. Like I was saying, you know, for some of you, this is like a money thing where you're overspending money, or this is just you over investing into certain things. And the thought is, and it's kind of like a vibe I picked up on, I think that was with Sagittarius. I can't remember if it's Sag or if it's Capricorn, but I was talking, and I think it was Sag. I was talking about like counting your chickens before they hatch kind of vibe. And it's more or less like needing to recheck yourself, because it's and I talked about themes of this with Capricorn too, of like resting on your laurels. It's like things are on an upturn, and it's kind of like getting a Christmas bonus, or, you know, getting more money in some way, shape, form, or fashion. And because things are doing well, it's mindlessly spending, not paying attention to what it is that you're spending. And then there being some sort of issue that happens, right? And the money that you could have had, it's kind of burned on things that aren't necessary. Now, something to keep in mind with that, and I've been saying this to you guys a lot, on the 19th of December, of course, Venus goes fully retrograde in Capricorn. And of course, this is a time in which you would want to be reflecting on things like this, especially your finances, seeing how it is that you're spending your money, what you're spending most of your money on, what it is that you're investing in, and if you're investing in things that you really truly value, you know. But I feel this is kind of like a heads up, because with this Eight of Cups in the reverse, that's saying to me that it's something that Taurus is doing, and it's either overcompensating, right, like overgiving, right, or bailing people out, being like a savior for people, or mindlessly spending your money. And this is something that's been brought to your attention, and something that you're tasked with creating a plan to rectify, but it's not really walking away from that bad behavior. So it's coming into December still kind of doing, you know, if we were to go back to like October, it's like coming into December still engaging in these behaviors that are kind of robbing you and creating a lot of conflicts, turmoil, and things of the sort in your life. And then we have the Five of Wands in the reverse. You guys know that's my Petty LaBelle card. The Five of Wands in the reverse. So there's a need, Taurus, like one, there's a need for you guys to, and I don't want to, like, I want to say, like, what's coming to my mind to say is like stand up for yourself, but not stand up for yourself in a Seven of Wands kind of way. It's more or less you needing to be the one to cure the chaos. And the way that Taurus cures the chaos is by you being a part of the solution, as opposed to contributing to your problem, if that's making sense. So if we literally were to stick with this money thing, if the place that Taurus consistently finds themselves in is, you know, trying to rub two pennies together, trying to make something happen, like, you know, car breaks, there's no savings, and now it's like trying to figure out how you're going to scrape money together to handle this particular thing. This is more or less showing me that there's a way around that. Like there's a way that Taurus can prevent themselves from being in situations such as this. And I'm even picking up on in a romantic sense too. It's like, if this is speaking to like romantic partnerships, it's meeting someone and like oversharing or overgiving, and the expectation being reciprocity in this particular connection. And, you know, being conflicted when a person doesn't show up for you. So it's similar to kind of like that friend scenario, but in a romantic framework. but this would more or less be someone who's still in a romantic partnership that you need to walk away from, right? Because it's like it's being with a person who doesn't have your best interest at heart, which would in essence be a lack thereof of intimacy, right? It's almost being in a connection to where one has to strategize, analyze, overthink. You're trying to figure out what is it that you need to do to get things back on track type of vibe. And truth of the matter is, in reality, the connection isn't serving you anymore. And not saying that in a romantic partnership that the whole sole purpose of your partner is to be in service to you, not implying that, but there should be an ebb and flow, like a give and take, reciprocity in a partnership. And what I'm seeing with this is that it's just Taurus carrying a two-person relationship by themselves. And what I'm seeing with that is, on the inside, you're not emotionally fulfilled, right? You're not really getting what it is that you desire or you want from this particular partnership, but it's kind of turning a blind eye to that, and it's internalizing that conflict. So it's being in a connection and almost suffering in silence if this is speaking to a partnership, but it still goes back to something that Taurus is already consciously aware of, which is at some point or another, and this would be going back to November, it would be when this popped up again, but I feel this would be something that you would have seen elements of this for a continued period, where signs of this are showing up, where, but it's still trying to give it a chance. It's very, very clear that this situation is not pouring into you, you're just pouring into it. And you just pouring into it and not getting poured into, it's kind of, wringing you dry, if that's making sense. But there's a need for you to find a sense of stability within yourself, which this, of course, goes back to a lot of the stuff that we talked about in like at Lunafet for the Taurus full moon eclipse. And I put a clip of that on my channel, where with Venus retrograde, what we're really speaking to is re-solidifying your values, like identifying what you value and if you're living in accordance or in alignment with your core values about life, and not violating them. And manifestation, what it is that you're drawing into your life, looking at the situations that you're in and really analyzing if they are a true reflection of who you are, what you want, and what you stand for, aka those core values, that foundation. So I feel, in a sense, Taurus, whoever would resonate with this, it would be in a place in life to where there's a level of disappointment and a level of sadness in reference to always giving and never receiving, right? It's never being on the receiving end of things, or, being at a job where you're continuously overlooked. And it's the thing that is concerning me with these two is the fact with this Five of Swords, I'm not telling you anything that you don't already know, right? So this is something you already know, that this is an uneven situation. There is no reciprocity here, but it's turning a blind eye to that. Like, I'm not happy here, I feel unappreciated. I don't feel valued here, right? Whether this is friendship, relationship, job, what have you. I don't feel valued here. This is a literal shit show, right? But I'm still not walking away. But because I'm choosing to stay in this particular situation, fully aware that this isn't pouring into me, it's either one is staying, hoping that it changes, right? Or it's a fear of, kind of stepping out and leaving, because it's not really knowing what you would be leaving to, right? But there's a need to find a sense of stability within oneself, because I literally feel like Tauruses would be internalizing all of this, But then we have the Ace of Swords and the reverse. we have the Six of Wands. I don't think I showed that to you. My autofocus is being a jerk today. The Ace of Swords and the reverse, and then we have the Six of Wands. So here's the thing. Refusal to see the truth of this particular situation, Taurus, which is what I'm seeing in this Five of Swords, and again in this Ace of Swords in the reverse. There's a need to have a mental breakthrough. Now, what it is that I can tell you is, looking at this time frame wise, this would be taking us into, because much like I said for November, the third week of November was very, very important, right? The third week of December is very, very important. However, the first week of December, one day in particular, is important because in the first week, which is, the 28th between the 4th of December, on the actual 4th, we have the new moon in Sagittarius, and that's a solar eclipse. So, of course, at the end of November on the 19th, we had a lunar eclipse, a partial lunar eclipse. We're having a solar eclipse on the 4th of December, right? Now, what is going to be revealed to you, because lunar eclipse is usually something that's subconscious or something that you're not aware of, something that's hidden, that's eclipsed out of your life, something that was a block that you didn't know, right? With this being a new moon, right, and it being a solar eclipse, it's something that you are aware of, like I'm seeing in this Five of Swords. Where you are in this place, you're not happy here. Like I said, right? The only thing that's really been a block to the victory that you guys are desiring, because I feel you're trying to have a victory, but you're trying to have a victory here, right? Whether if it's with this person at this particular company or what have you. But I feel it's been very clear, it's been made very clear to you guys that because of the time frame of what it is that you've been investing, you've never gotten anything in return. It's been made pretty clear that it's about that time to move forward and walk away. But it's Taurus turning a blind eye to that and having faith beyond faith, right? It's just trusting. Like, I would have never met this person if this wasn't supposed to work out. I would have never gotten this job if it wasn't supposed to work out. Maybe I just need to do more. Right? But I feel getting back into that cycle of trying to invest more, it's your energy could be best infused or invested somewhere else. So what I'm really saying is here, Taurus, the victory for you guys comes in a level of acceptance, right? It's not giving up on whatever it is that this is that we're talking about, right? Because even if this is like your finances, like you were doing really well with the plan, you fell off the bandwagon, it's okay. You can still get back up, right? And keep it pushing. Get back on the bandwagon. If it's a fitness journey, right? You were working out for like 3 months straight. And then, you fall off the bandwagon. Thanksgiving happens. You eat a whole bunch of stuff. It's like, don't, just disassociate from it. Acknowledge, okay, I fell off the bandwagon, but get right back to where it is that you fell off, because I feel the only thing that's blocking you guys from the victory you're desiring is a need to accept what it is that I'm seeing here, because it's something, it's just not wanting to accept that. And I feel it's really more or less a fear of change. It's like sticking with the devil that if that makes sense. It's like easier to stick with the devil that because at least you have something, you're in possession of something, and you don't have to run the risk of, walking away and potentially not having anything at all. You know what I mean? So in a sense, it's almost like settling for less, because the question that I would pose to my Taurus people would be, and this is not necessarily rhetorical, but it's more of a reflection question of what would happen if you were to stop doing all that you do. If you were to stop investing into whatever this is with no reward, like what would happen? Would someone else just pop in and do what you did? Or would everyone like pause and be like, wait a minute, where's Taurus? Why isn't Taurus doing the stuff anymore? You know what I mean? And I don't know why it is I am posing that question, but I feel that that's something that you guys would want to reflect on. Like, what would happen if you were to just stop? Because the only reason why you're still doing is in hopes of receiving. But if you haven't received up to this particular point, it's, why are we still investing? Of course, it's because it's wanting the victory, but it's kind of trying to get blood from a turnip, if that's making sense. The next card that we have is the Ten of Pentacles. See, child, look, I'm trying to tell y'all. I am trying to tell y'all. The 10 of freaking Pentacles, dude. So here's the thing, Taurus. What this would be to me, even if we were to make this more of an internal type of thing, right? It's needing to come into balance, right? And this is like Xing everybody else out, right? So if we're just thinking about Taurus, and if we were to say this is money, Taurus is trying to save money to buy, whatever, to invest in something, right? And that's what this Six of Wands and this Ten of Pentacles is for you, right? Come on, autofocus. Don't be a jerk today, right? So this is what your end all be all goal is, right? Let's say that this is purchasing a home, or, getting a car, moving out of your parents' house, whatever the case, right? It's success, it's stability, it's security, it's like loan money, it's being recognized, for your efforts and things of the sort. The end all be all goal is this. This is what you want. This is where you want to go. This is the position that you want to be in. Success and being recognized, right? So what our issue is, this thing is like our undoing, right? So this is the thing that we're doing. So regardless of what this represents, but I'm just sticking with the money thing, and you guys listen for the energy signature and apply to your particular situation. So this is what you want. You want victory, you want stability, security, so on and so forth. However, how Taurus is undermining themselves from getting here, right? It's the fact that there's money that's coming in, you're making money, but just as fast as you're making it, you're spending it, right? You're not allocating it. You don't have a structured plan of, this is how much I need to purchase this particular thing. Therefore, all the money that comes in, I need to take this percentage out and I need to put this in an account that I don't touch, right? So it's not a plan that's going here. It's just money that's coming in and it's going right back out on, coffees and, going out and buying gifts, Amazon addiction, whatever the case, right? Now, with this Five of Swords and with this Three of Swords, this is letting me know, once upon a time, this is a pattern that's repeating itself again, right? There's an inner conflict where there's a guilt that's felt, right? Because I want to be here, but I'm still not there. I'm working so hard. I'm putting so much in. Why do I still not have what I want when I'm putting so much time, effort, and energy into this? And I feel this energy is more or less an energy that can very well be revealed with this solar eclipse on the 4th. However, I don't believe that's going to be the first time this has been revealed to you. This may have been something like, where this is falling, this is something that could have been made clear to you during the Taurus full moon, partial lunar eclipse. It's like, it's being your own worst enemy. You're trying to save money, but you're spending it. And by you overspending, it's putting you in this position, right? But it's almost still turning a blind eye to it. So it's more or less Three of Swords breaking your own heart. And the thing that's breaking your own heart, it's a mindset, it's a mentality, right? It's how you're perceiving things or your attitude towards money, right? So this is working in the background, undermining you, keeping you from getting here. And how I know it's something that's perpetuated is with the Eight of Cups in the reverse. So this is something, it's a cycle. It's something that you're continuously doing that you should be walking away from, but it's yet another cycle that's repeating. So it's continuing a bad habit, right? And this inner conflict is coming from like a self-denial. It's not being honest of admitting, hey, this is what I'm doing, right? And like I said, this scenario goes the same for whether this is a relationship, whether this is a job that, you know, isn't paying you what you're worth, isn't promoting you, whatever the case. This is something that's been made very clear, but it's Taurus being, it's like willful blindness. It's like you've had many opportunities to see what it is that's actually happening here, but I want to say it's a refusal to see it, but it's denial, you know? And it's more or less like a hope that somehow stability happens. But the only way that this stability is going to happen, Taurus, is if you accept. And I feel like this message is coming up like this because of the energy that we're going to be in for the mid to latter part of December, because that's what Venus retrograde is all about in Capricorn. It's like getting affairs in order, you know? And it takes a great deal of self-honesty, which is why I had, you know, all my network members do a reality check, because it's a need to like wake up. We got to be real about what we're doing here. The reason why we're not moving forward is because we have every opportunity. I cannot talk. We have every opportunity available to move forward, right? Like all the elements are here, but we're taking one step forward and we're having ourselves take 2 steps back. So that means that there's modifications that can be made here. There's changes that could be made here. But the key starts with self-honesty. It's needing to recognize that there's a behavior that one is engaging in, or a relationship that one is in, or a job that one is in, that you know good and damn well is not putting as much into you as you're putting into it, right? So now it's all about recognizing that, accepting the truth about this, and that's where this victory comes. So the victory comes in this transition being made of decisions, right? So it would be recognizing, hey, I am overspending, so now I'm going to pull back the reins on that. And I'm actually going to create a plan for what it is that I want. But with this coming out, it's also saying that this is very much here for you, but it's showing you behaviors, mindsets, what have you, that are holding you back from where it is that you're trying to get, right? So regardless of what you guys' situation is specifically, this isn't any, you know, external influence that I'm seeing here. This is a battle that's happening within Taurus, and it's Taurus not being in alignment with Taurus's home-based foundation values type of thing, right? And not even just like in a core value sense, but like I said, if you value stability and security, then you would want to create that for yourself, right? And there's a method in which to do that. It's not just wanting it and hoping that it just manifests out of the ether somewhere. It's like you have to be a good steward of your finances because you have the resources available to you. It's not, you know, closing your eyes and visualizing it, looking at your dream board and hoping that things somehow matriculate in your favor. There's a little bit of work that needs to be done, right? So it's getting clear on who you are, right? What you want financially, what you want stability wise, what you want in a romantic partner, what you want in a company that you work for, what have you. It's getting clear on that so that you can stand firmly on that and allow that to be your boundaries, or your guiding lines, if you will, for what you do and don't engage in until you achieve this particular goal that you guys are trying to achieve. I hope that that makes sense, my wonderful, wonderful Taurus. I'm going to go ahead and pull you guys surrender card because it's surrender December and whatnot or whatever. And this is going to be a card that's used in you guys extended, because with it being surrender December, that means that our extendeds are you guys 2022 soul scope. And like I've been saying to everyone else, I know people are typically freaked out about annual readings, but the way that I'm doing them is not anything where it's doom and gloom or anything to be creeped out about. That's why I'm using oracle cards for it. But it's pretty much giving you an overview of what lessons and what energies you all may encounter in the next year. And if you want an example of what these look like, then you can look at the tarot marathon that I have on my channel. And that's an example of how I do those particular readings, my friend. So let's see what Taurus should surrender in December. What should Taurus surrender in December, Spirit? What does Taurus need to leave behind in 2021? Interesting. 2 cards. All right. First one. Wow. Surrender procrastination. Now is the time to jump on a goal instead of putting it off. Taking action will attract success. Absolutely. That's that turning a blind eye. You know what I'm saying? And putting your energy into something. And I feel that's hella fear-based, Taurus. I really feel like that's what it is. It's fear-based. And that's really like procrastination is really like a byproduct of perfectionism, you know? Because it's you want to do something and you want it to be so perfect, or you fear success, or you fear the headache of making sure something is absolutely perfect, or you fear rejection, right? And because you don't want to feel those feelings, if it doesn't work out, you'll put off and put off and put off actually starting something or engaging in something. And it's like, oh, tomorrow, oh, next week, oh, when I'm feeling better, like, oh, I'm not in a good place right now, and you keep putting it off, and then you end up running out of time, because when we have deadlines in life, it's a little harder to procrastinate. Like if you think about being in school, it's like if you have a paper due on the 24th, right? It's like you have no choice. Like you have to, turn that paper in by the 24th or else you're going to fail. But when it comes to things in our life that don't have deadlines, right? We can put it off indefinitely. We could tell ourselves for the next 10, 15, 20 years, oh, tomorrow. You know what I mean? So this is all about grabbing the bull by the horns, proverbially speaking, and pun intended. And really acting on these things, even if it's something as simple as you've been knowing you were supposed to get your finances in order, right? And you've been putting it off, like now is the time to do so, And I mean, this could literally be anything, y'all. This could be health, this could be going to get a checkup, going to your, GYN, going to the dentist. Like this could be a myriad of different things, but it's letting go in this year in 2021, leaving behind, putting things off until you have to deal with them. It's more or less, you circumventing them before they become a problem. The next card that you guys have, surrender unhealthy relationships. Well, that explains why I kept picking up a relationship energy. Let go of relationships that don't serve you, including unavailable or toxic people. You deserve to be treasured by others and to be surrounded by positive people. So this literally encapsulates all of this energy that I was seeing here. There's one group of people where there's no romantic partner involved, and there's things that you're putting off. It's something that you need to do, Taurus, and you got 50 million 11 signs to deal with it, but you keep putting it off because it's either fear or, whatever. And then for others of you, it's being in relationships that you're very clear are one-sided, that you're putting a great deal into this more than the person is, and you're not happy and you're not fulfilled in it, right? And this is giving you an opportunity to release this once and for all, my friend. So I hope that this has helped my beautiful Taurians. I'm going over to my network and Patreon, YouTube members, Vimeo, all those places to do you guys 2022 soul scope. So if you're about that life, follow me on over there. But if not, I still love your face, and I'll see you guys sooner than later, my friends.